there, it's Molly and Luna. Welcome to this episode of Mindful Mamas. Today my guest is the beautiful Gina Brogan, and she's an extraordinary life coach here in Santa Monica, California. So thank you so much for opening up your space and letting us meet side by side today. It's just so incredible.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for coming here and giving me this opportunity to talk about what I do and who I work with.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more. You know, why life coaching, and how did you step into this?
Well, like a lot of life coaches, you teach what you need to learn, and I needed to learn how to take care of myself. I became an adult and thought that what I wanted more than anything was children, which I did, but I really pushed aside all of my other priorities to have children, and started to give up pieces of myself to make my life feel like it was feeling good. I was a people pleaser. That's really the bottom line. And when you are a people pleaser, you take care of everybody first before yourself. And I thought that at one point, I thought someday it would pay me back, and people would start taking care of me. However, that was not what happened. And it got to the point really where I didn't recognize myself. I was very angry, and I was short-tempered. I was not pleasant to be around, and I really had a victim consciousness way of life that one day I realized was not serving me. So I changed the way that I thought, and I changed the way that I behaved and talked, and I started to take care of me on the inside, and my inside started to match my outside.
And it feels so good, doesn't it? Isn't it? I love that you're bringing up the people pleaser archetype, because it really is just one of those egoic archetypes that can be so sneaky. I am guilty of that. I would maybe be called, the good girl archetype, of always just trying to do the right thing and make the decisions in the past that would be most pleasing to the other people. But as you know, and maybe as you guys know, all it ever does really is kind of breed a little bit of resentment and anger. And so I know that you got to that space, and there was a point where you had like a transformation or a light bulb switch that said, okay, I can no longer continue on this way. I need to start living for me. And I know you've shared with me that one of those core things was the 3 pillars of self-care.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And to go back to what you were saying about the people pleasing, that it was really how I made decisions based on what my dad, my husband, even my children wanted, what I thought that they wanted, and never checked in with myself. In fact, I didn't even know myself because I had gotten so out of alignment with my true self. And when I started to put my pieces of myself back together through what I call the 3 pillars of self-care, I started to feel like I started to know what decisions were best for me based on the way I felt. So the 3 pillars of self-care, the way I see them, are, basically your body and your mind and your soul or your spirit, whatever works for you and how you define that part of it. But I learned that when my body feels something, that's my spiritual side of me speaking up and waving and saying, hey, listen up. When I'm in a position to make a decision, now I look inside to guide me. So that's really how I take every day. I let life guide me based on what I'm feeling inside. And I take care of my mind and my body and my spirit in my daily practices and habits.
Yeah, which is something that, I'm sure you really had to work on and step into more self-awareness to create those habits. I love having this conversation so much because this is exactly what I'm about too. I'm about finding that balance in your physical body, your mental body, and I put it as my emotional body, but that mind, body, spirit ultimately is what it is. And when we can find balance in those three things, we can really take back our power and stop playing. We're in LA, right? So it's actors galore, but stop playing the background acting role and start taking the lead role of our own lives.
Absolutely, Molly. That's exactly it. And I think that there are some ways that I have developed that work for me. And there's really so many things you'll hear out there about self-care. And when I try to boil it down to 5 steps or something, that's been too overwhelming for me. And I'm not. There are not 5 steps. However,
there's an infinite amount of steps, right?
Exactly. And for every person, it's different. Mm-hmm. What is it that you need may not be the same thing I need. So it was easier for me to describe it in terms of the body, mind, and emotions or spirit, to help people organize their self-care and to pick and choose what works, and to know that it's almost like the layers of an onion. I have found that as I heal more and more on the inside, I'm aware of new ways to take care of myself. So for a long time, it was, I focused on my mental
mind chatter,
wellness, my mental wellness, and my mindset. Exactly. I went from having a victim mindset to an empowered mindset. Like, I can do anything I set my mind to, and that feels really fantastic. To take responsibility for my own life and to step into my own power.
Yeah. So I just want to hang here for just a moment. I want to talk about all 3 pillars, but just specifically focusing on that mindset. I know that when I had my awakening, that was like, holy crap, Molly, you are not kind to yourself. These thoughts that are, deeply taking over your brain, you need to shift. And I had the willingness to shift, but I didn't really know how. And it took, a loving girlfriend, several loving girlfriends to be able to be a reflection to me and say, you know what, let's just start with your strengths, and this is what I see in you. So I just bring that up because I think sometimes women, and I want to hear your experience and what you think, but I think that sometimes women can be like, okay, I know that my mindset needs to shift, but I don't know how to start. And that's when having a life coach, someone like yourself, is so great, because you have an outsider's perspective that can really hone in and pull out all those good bits that maybe that person had been covering up with their dense egoic fog of swirling vortex of just negativity in their mind. Right. What did you find worked for you to help you get from that victim mindset into that empowered state that you are today?
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up, because first of all, it's really true that, yes, girlfriends are fabulous for that. If you are fortunate enough to have girlfriends who are willing to just hold that positive space for you, you're lucky. Luckier than a lot of people. Not everybody has that. In fact, they're surrounded by a lot of people who are reflecting things that aren't so positive. And so what needs to happen then is you got to generate it all on your own, and it is possible if that is the case. And it really does start with gratitude. I think all roads lead back to gratitude, really, but taking notice of what you do have and giving thanks for that. For me in the beginning, that was really hard because I couldn't see through the fog. And then there are so many tools and strategies that you can use. For example, your gratitude list. Every morning, I am so grateful for waking up today. And if you're at that level where it's really hard to find anything, I highly recommend anything of Louise Hay's work. Louise Hay's started out with her book on You Can Heal Your Life, and she recommends looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, daily, her mirror work.
I love that. In fact, when I was starting my personal journey of this discovery of the beauty within myself, was I would write notes on my mirror.
Yes.
And it would just prompt me to say, like, okay, say something nice about yourself today, or you are beautiful, or I love you.
Yeah.
And how powerful it is to just, you're brushing your teeth and just see the woman looking back at you with the message of, I love you.
Yeah.
Or I'm so grateful for you for, or whatever. Like, that's so amazing.
It really, really is. It's really powerful. And a lot of people shun that kind of work because it's embarrassing and it's really hard to do, or they think it's not useful.
Well, you have to be in a state of vulnerability with yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some people would say that it's, you know, narcissistic or egotistical to be able to look yourself in the mirror and just be like, hey, I'm beautiful. You know, I think I look great today.
Absolutely.
And just to go back on your gratitude list, I know that when you're in that just not feeling good about anything in life, it can be so hard. But I make the habit every morning of just saying, like, oh, I'm so grateful for this bed that I slept in. I'm so grateful for this pillow, and I just keep it really simple.
Right. And
then after building that up, I find that it's so much easier to be
and
grateful for more things.
You can peel away the layers of the onion and find gratitude in bigger places and more meaningful places, if that serves you that day. And this journey of awakening and self-empowerment is a lifelong journey. So like what you said, you do have to be vulnerable, and that's not when you have lived a life where you're hiding yourself. Opening up and being vulnerable, even if you're alone in your bathroom, can be really, really challenging. And you know, I started to do it, and then what I did, because I love to be playful and fun, I started flirting with myself in the mirror.
No,
and
you didn't.
Like this, and I would say, looking good today, because I wanted it to be fun and not heavy.
Yeah.
And that really started to translate into my outside life when I would be present in the world. And I, you know, developed a swagger where, like, that girl knows where she's going. And just that kind of energy, the way I hold my body has completely changed.
Yeah.
And it feels really good and it's not egotistical or narcissistic, because what I think women really need to be reminded of a lot, especially when we become mothers, if we do not take care of ourselves first and put our oxygen mask on first, then we are not going to be the best mothers and wives and friends that we really want to be.
Totally.
So
this conversation is really bringing me back to when I started my journey of self-discovery, which I've shared with you and I've shared with you guys. That really happened about 4 years ago with my first pregnancy. You know, I'm pregnant now, but with my first pregnancy, I was so excited for that baby to come, but I also just had realized I am so emotionally broken and mentally broken. I just was so mean to myself. And the thing that had got me on this, was my catalyst and got me on this journey, was actually physical movement, was physical fitness. And I definitely want to talk about the physical body, because that's one of the 3 pillars. And also to say that just because my path to it, I first focused on my physical body, then I focused on my mental body, and then more so my spirituality. But that there's not really any one right way of which way you enter into building these pillars. Would you say that is true, or would you have another opinion?
No, I think that's exactly true. And just like any self-care program, it's really up to you to empower yourself to design it to fit your needs and to listen to yourself and your inner wisdom to answer, what do I need to do first? And that's a question you ask yourself every day. What do I need today?
I'm sorry. I feel like that question alone is so important, and we just need to really emphasize that, because I can just feel the women on the other side who are watching this and listening saying, How often are you actually letting yourself ask the question, what do I need in this moment? What do I need today?
Right.
Giving yourself that permission
Yeah.
that's a huge transformation right there, I think.
It really is, and it's not easy. And one way that I have learned to do it, I'm a big fan and student of A Course in Miracles. And that one of the lessons ends with, where do I need to go? Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And that's a great way to open up your eyes in the morning and ask, or close your eyes and ask, and let your inner guidance show you the answers to those in very subtle ways or not so subtle ways. But that's one great way to find out what part you need to take care of that day.
Yes. I love that. I'm a student of A Course in Miracles myself.
Fabulous.
And that prayer I've said every morning for over a year. And I have to say that that's the exact prayer that actually got me started on this project, The Mindful Mamas. What would you have me say, to who, and to what? And so it's so incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Yeah. I love hearing that. Wow.
I love that you brought that up. I have chills. I knew we're soul sisters, girl.
Oh, totally. I think that's fabulous.
Yeah. So real quick, let's just touch and give a couple tangible actions that women can be taking to build up their pillar of the physical body.
Oh, well, for me, this is the easiest part. I've always been an athlete, so this has been maybe overdeveloped in my myself, where the other two pillars were not developed at all. But there are so many things you can do, and I have taken up a very, very lovely yoga practice that I literally just couldn't live without. And I love that because that actually incorporates all three pillars in one practice, because you are moving your body in ways that are not comfortable. They develop your inner strength to hold poses, and you have to talk to yourself a lot and really hold a mindset that this is okay, that I don't feel good right now and I want to
Come on,
quit.
Gina, you got this. You can hold this.
Yeah. And it's really amazing. It's transformational. So if somebody wanted a one-stop shop, yoga. But in addition to that, I think anything that you love to do. I grew up playing soccer, so of course I love that. But I started bike riding. I've always been a bike rider, and am now on my bike traveling around town everywhere I go. If I can bike it, I will. Sometimes it's just going for a walk with your girlfriend.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be intensive. I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so my modality is weightlifting, and I get questions all the time, like, Molly, what's the best exercise I can be doing for my body? And the truth is, really, honestly, it's whatever brings you your highest excitement. If it's walking with a girlfriend, if it's riding your bike, if it's rollerblading. Of course, I love weightlifting for a lot of reasons, especially for women, building up their bone mineral density, and we could go on that could be a whole other topic, but I know for me personally, I was a cross-country runner for a lot of years, and so running was not a problem. I got the mental endurance down. When it got into the weight room and I'm having to work on my physical strength, all of a sudden it was like a switch. I had this mental strength too.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know how strong I could be. So I say that to say that there really is no right or wrong.
No.
You can still get to that strong pillar of physical body no matter what avenue you take.
Absolutely. The only thing I would say is really commit to yourself that you are going to start something if you're not doing any movement, and let your inner guidance show you what you want to do.
I was just thinking, turn on the radio and just dance freely in your living room while you look in the mirror and you tell yourself, hey girl.
It's all about moving your body, and really your inner guidance is what brings you joy.
Yeah.
When you are finding that this feels good,
yeah,
that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, and that's a great segue into well, I kind of tie the emotional and spiritual, and for me, I tend to package it in one, but it's a great segue into that third pillar.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way I like to look at the spiritual or emotional is I package it in raise your vibration. Mm-hmm. What can you do to raise your vibration? And it starts with your gratitude, or it starts with forgiveness. If you need to forgive somebody or yourself even, do that. And there are just so many ways that you can raise your vibration, and you can do it through your exercise, through the foods that you eat. There are high vibration foods.
Yes.
And lower vibration foods. And also another really, really big one I don't want to forget to mention is think about your environment and think about the people and the media that you spend time with, because that really will affect you on a cumulative basis. And the thing that I tell everybody, my number one thing is meditation. When you meditate, you get in touch, you get back in alignment. Your body and your mind and your spirituality, that's when it all comes together. And you start to get into touch with your body's signals, and you can respond in a way that is in alignment with you. And when your body's talking to you, you'll know what it's saying.
I love meditation. It's something that I do practice daily, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I know that there's some mamas out there that are like, I don't have the time to sit in stillness, or even what do I do? Do I just sit there with my eyes closed? Do you have any pointers or tips for anybody that maybe is newly discovering what meditation is and how they can start incorporating that in their life?
Oh, I do. I really do. I have so many different ideas. First of all, I have 5 steps to meditation, to a daily meditation program that you can get on my website.
Oh, great.
And you can download right now. But I will also go through them. And I also want to say, if you're having a hard time with it and you think you have to sit there with your fingers crossed, you don't have to. And you don't have to have a mantra. That's something that some people do and some people don't. What I want to say is, if you want to put headphones on and do a guided meditation, that's a great place to start.
YouTube is great for that, by the way.
There's so many options. It can be overwhelming finding them and picking one. But if you want to do it without that, all I do is, and they're not having time, I'm not going to buy it. If Oprah has time to meditate, then so do you. And if you have young children, please start with them right now.
They're like, yeah, but Oprah doesn't have kids.
No, she doesn't have kids.
But she's running an empire.
She's got her own babies.
I'm with you, Gina.
And I really, truly believe that when you do start to take that time to meditate, more time shows up. It's an alchemy.
It is.
So,
it's so expansive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my number one piece of advice to start putting all the pillars together. So my 5 steps really quickly are: create a space. If you're beginning and you go to a space every day, then that will help your body and mind trigger. That will send a signal. Okay? So go to that space. I also say set a stopwatch, not a timer.
Oh.
Because the timer will rattle you out of a state of bliss if you happen to get there, which has done that to me enough times to learn that if I'm still in that space, I'm going to stay there until I don't want to be anymore. And I come out of it organically. So number 3, start a breath pattern, and one that will send another signal to your body to relax is take a breath on the count of 5 in breath, and hold it at the top. Hold your lungs and your belly full for another count of 5. And then slowly release it for a count of 10. And if you do that for 3 to 5 or even 8 times, it sends a signal to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which tells your body to relax.
Yeah.
So, and then the 4th step is to just sit and accept whatever comes. And I think I missed a step in there because I have 5 steps.
Okay, so you're going to have to go to her website, which is what again?
www.ginabrogan.com. It's GINABROGAN.
I'll put a link to it below this video. But that's a great resource for any newbies in the meditation world, or even if you're advanced. It's good always to see what are some other techniques that people are doing, because it's always fun to explore different options.
Yeah.
So, beautiful. Thank you.
And I also have a Facebook group. It's called Miracles Through Meditation, and it's on Facebook. And if you go there and search it and request to be added, I will add you.
Excellent. We'll put a link to that as well.
Thanks.
Great.
All right.
Thanks so much for being on today's show, Gina.
Thank you, Molly. I have loved this.
I know,
awesome.
This is my passion topic, so we can talk about it forever, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, if you guys want to find out any more information or get in touch with Gina, head over to ginabrogan.com.